Okay, so today we're going to look at gear shifting, and particularly when we're driving and when we're coming to a stop, and looking at the difference between like a short stop, or some people call it a momentary stop, where we're stopping for a short time and then we're going to move off again potentially quite soon at an intersection or uphill start or somewhere like that, as compared to like a longer stop like we do when we're stopping or parking somewhere, or when we know we're going to be having decided, we're going to be sitting at a set of traffic lights for a long time or an intersection for a long time, the longer stop. So first of all, we're sitting here at the end of the street. There is an intersection down there, and we're going to proceed to the intersection and come to a stop to check for traffic, and we're going to see what that short stop looks like. All right, and then we'll have a bit of a look at a few other things, even doing like a tight maneuver, 3-point turn, etc. What a short stop looks like. Anyway, moving off into the road, we are double checking that our handbrake's on. We are signaling and looking behind and signaling to tell people what we're going to do. Selecting the gear we need, looking around, clutch, friction point, looking around, ahead, and moving away. But that, not what we're really here for. So we're coming up, we're in the whatever gear we're in. At the moment we're in second gear. Coming up to the intersection, we are planning to turn right, so we're knowing who's behind us. We're signaling to the right, coming to the front, looking to get our good view. We're still in second gear, and clutch down just before we stop, and first. Not going to be here long, so straight onto handbrake, just to make sure we don't roll, and turn. Let's look at it again down here. Going to turn right, braking, clutch down just before idle speed, move to first, sneak up a little bit, which is why we've gone to first, so we can move a little bit if we need to, and then look and check and go. So one of the things that can happen is that people have a habit of always moving perhaps to neutral for a period of time as they're coming up to an intersection. So they're coming up to the intersection, let's say they're going to turn right, they're coming up to here, and they would come down and they would be braking, move into neutral about here, and just sort of roll down. And then maybe pick a gear, and then go like that. Another thing people tend to do, and we'll have a look in a moment, is they might come to a stop, especially if they need the handbrake. They'll go the handbrake first, then they'll go first gear, and then they'll go back to the handbrake, and then they will go and make the turn or whatever it is. That would be considered like double shuffling the handbrake. Think about, I've gone to that handbrake twice, backwards and forwards between the gears and the handbrake. We're trying to keep it simple. We're trying to make a plan that works really, really well. So down the end here, coming to the end, going to turn right, looking at the best way to do this, coming down forward, just before we stop, go to first. If we realise we can't see, then we can move the car immediately. We've got the gear we need. We've always got the car in a gear. Whereas down here, let's imagine coming to the intersection. We've come to this point, clutch down, handbrake on. Oh, we can't see from here. So now we would have to go through the whole process, move forward again, have another look, and if we were going to roll, we would go for handbrake again and go. So we're just ignoring that phone. So we're just looking at that as far as coming to intersections and choosing that really efficient way of getting into the first gear as we come to a stop, so the car's always ready to move. Let's look at it when we do a 3-point turn. So we're coming to the curb, we're slowing, we're still in the higher gear, slowing just before idle speed, car comes to a stop, clutch went down, and we're cancelling the signal. Straight into first gear, because that's the next gear we need, because we want to move directly into our 3-point turn. Now, do I need the handbrake? I'm actually not sure, so I'm just going to be sure, I'm going to add it. Then look and check. Clutch to friction point, look around and release the handbrake, and turning into my 3-point turn. Over to the front here, steer back the other way just before we stop. What's the gear I need? Reverse, straight into it. And now, if I think I could roll, and which I might roll forward, I'm going to go handbrake. Steer the other way. What I want to avoid is go handbrake and then gear and then back to the handbrake, because it's double shuffling. It's moving backwards and forwards between the handbrake and the gear. Let's look at that again. Nice and efficient. We come to the stop. The car's going to stop on the other side, but directly to first. Waiting to see where this car's going to stop. Car's going to stop there. There's the pedestrians there. Waiting a bit longer. But if I decided I was going to be here for a while, let's say I decided to be here for a while, I could cancel the signal, I could put the handbrake on, I could pull it to neutral and wait for a bit. But my first thought is to always be ready to go. All right, so here we go. Into the gear we need. That guy's going to come out of that driveway. Back to neutral, have a rest. Let's go again. Looking and checking. Clear and safe. The pedestrians walked by. Directly into the gear we need. Then handbrake to hold, then go. Directly into the gear we need. Handbrake if we need, and go. So it's just about being efficient and without what's called double shuffling backwards and forwards between the gear shift. Down here we're going to turn right. So we're currently in third gear. We're slowing. Slow, 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 slow. Clutch down. Position of good view. Handbrake so we don't roll. And I could have got away without the handbrake there. But just to be sure, I've gone. Down here, slow to the speed, not going to stop, back on the power and round the corner, staying in second gear. Down here we are going to stop and park, right? So we're braking, 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 bringing the car over, clutch down just before idle speed, handbrake first, into neutral, brake off to make sure we don't roll, clutch up, and here's our longer stop. And now if we were going to shut the, and we're going to be here sitting here for a while, that's the longer stop. And then if we were going to shut down, turn off everything, check the lights are off, key off, and just as a good habit, if we're on a hill somewhere, leave the car in gear, so if the handbrake fails, it doesn't roll away. Even on flat ground, it's not a bad idea. Okay. So just a little look at some gear shifting and just avoiding that thing that's some people call the double shuffling, as in we're going to gear and handbrake in gear, or picking a gear that we didn't need and then picking a gear that we do need. Just trying to keep it simple and efficient. And then particularly if you're teaching a person to drive a manual for the first time, giving them really strong habits that's just going to keep it really simple for them, and they know very quickly what to do in certain situations. Anyway, all the best, and we'll catch you again another day.